Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to our Tuesday evening introduction to Lifewave and the star of the show, X39, that you're going to hear about. I'm your co-host, Robin Blake Mascari, along with Gregory Mascari, who's all the way in Thailand with us. It's morning over there and evening over here, and we're so grateful to have him. And welcome, everyone. So what we do in our call this evening is we do a brief summary and introduction to this very special company, talk a little bit about the science and technology, and a little bit about our owner, founder, inventor. And then we introduce our doctor for the evening. We have Dr. Barbara Jennings tonight. And then we'll talk with Barbara for a little bit, and then we'll open things up for your participation. If you have stories to share or questions, please use the Q&A function. That makes it easy, and then I don't have to scroll through all the chat. So thank you, and I think it's time to turn things over to my partner on the other side of the world.
Other side of the world. This is so
gosh.
amazing. There is, it's so amazing what you can do with technology. You know, we're only moments and, megabytes away from each other. So
I love
good
that.
evening. Yeah, good evening, everyone. Morning over here, 9 a.m. in the morning here in Bangkok. And I'm excited to start the front end out of our doctor call here. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So please hold on a second here. And there we go. So we're going to talk about activating your stem cells and the stem cell revolution. And I finally figured out what I want to be when I get older, younger. Okay. And let me ask you, if anything were possible, what is one thing you would choose to experience differently in your health? Okay. Are you experiencing any of those symptoms of aging or, chronic situations that you'd like to kind of get beyond? Well, and what difference would that make for you? I'm pushing 70 and I feel like I'm pushing 40. I love these products. I love Lifewave, and we're going to share a little bit about Lifewave and our founder and the products with you. I do want to make a note that our products are not designed or intended to heal, treat, or diagnose any disease. They do, however, help our bodies to get back into a more healthy, regenerative mode, and many times wonderful things begin to happen. So welcome to the stem cell revolution, because we believe everyone wants to look, feel, perform, and live younger. And we found that stem cells are the key because they're a vital part of our immune system that repairs and regenerates damaged cells. Now, the problem is the older we get, the less stem cell activity we have. And by age 60, only a small percentage remains. And sadly, the fewer stem cells we have, the less stem cell activity we have, the faster we age and the slower we heal. Now, I don't know about you, but I kind of want to put the brakes on the aging process. And what about stem cell injections? They become quite popular. There's hundreds of billions of dollars been spent on stem cell research and stem cell therapy. But you know what? Stem cell injections can be very expensive, painful, risky, controversial, and no guaranteed results. So we've got really good news for you, because with Lifewave, we can help you look, feel, perform, and live younger with our historic breakthrough in stem cell activation. It's a new wearable technology in patch form. It's affordable, it's safe, it's non-invasive, it's drug-free, and it's a patented form of phototherapy, which I'm going to discuss in more detail in just a couple of minutes, which uses specific frequencies of light to increase and improve our stem cell activity. This is the brainchild of our visionary founder and CEO, David Schmidt. And David's not only a brilliant scientist and researcher, David is a genius inventor with over 100 patents. I think it's up to 130 patents now and patent pendings. And he's been on the leading edge of phototherapy research and science for over 20 years. And he's already conducted over 90 clinical studies proving the efficacy of Lifewave phototherapy technologies and products. So Lifewave is a 17-year-old advanced technology company focused on health sciences research and development. It's founded back in 2004 based on an energy-enhancing technology David developed for Navy SEALs to increase their strength, their stamina, and performance without the use of drugs, stimulants, or caffeine. And the technology was so effective, it's now used by world-class athletes around the world in almost every sport. We have corporate headquarters, laboratory, and manufacturing, California, Utah, and Ireland, and global distribution from 75 plus countries from 14 global distribution centers. And as of next Monday, it'll be 15 global distribution centers with the opening of our new center here in Bangkok, Thailand. So the word is getting out, and LifeWave patches are now used by pro and amateur athletes around the world in almost every sport. The media has noticed, and you might too, if you look carefully on the bodies of some of these world-class athletes and Olympians, and you see these little auspicious white and tan, patches, that's LifeWave. So how does this amazing technology work? Well, it's based on a type of light therapy called photobiomodulation, which is kind of a mouthful, but LifeWave patches contain very specific combinations of organic materials and nanocrystals. And when they are applied or near our body, they're activated by our body heat, then they begin to re-emit very specific wavelengths of light, which stimulate targeted and beneficial biochemical responses in the body. This is known as photobiomodulation, and it is the basis of our LifeWave phototherapy patches. And so it's been a well-recognized and proven scientific principle that specific frequencies of light can cause specific changes in the body. For example, when we go out in the sun, a very specific frequency of light causes our body to make vitamin D. Another frequency of light, UV, causes our body to make melanin, the chemical that gives us a suntan. And LifeWave's patented technology is based on this same rock solid, scientific, well-recognized principle. Our focus for the last 12 years has been in the field of anti-aging and regenerative science. And I'm happy to tell you that 3 years ago in January 2019, we released to the global market the LifeWave X39 stem cell activation patch, which truly is a historic and affordable breakthrough in stem cell activation. Some are calling it the holy grail of anti-aging and restorative science because we're actually doing what the multi-billion-dollar companies and big pharma have not been able to do. X39 activates a very specific copper peptide that activates our own body's stem cells while also altering gene expression towards a younger and more vibrant you. So X39 absolutely is a game changer. It activates our stem cells, and our inventor, founder, and CEO says, this is my greatest achievement yet. And emphasis on yet, because this brilliant scientist inventor is not stopping here. So yes, we have patents. Yes, we have clinical studies and field results proving that LifeWave X39 is actually turning back our biological clock, helping people to look, feel, perform, and live younger. And for us baby boomers, this is very, very exciting news. So that's my little teeing it up, Robin, for you and Dr. Barbara, and I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Well, thank you, Gregory. I love your presentation, and everybody else does too. And good morning in Thailand.
Thank you.
Oh, excuse me.
Good evening in USA and wherever else everybody is.
Around the world. We're all over the place here. Yes, yes, yes. So what I'd love to do is introduce you to Dr. Barbara Jennings. And Dr. Barbara is one of our many, many amazing healthcare practitioners that have joined LifeWave for many wonderful reasons. And you're going to hear from her in just a few minutes. So let me give you an introduction. First and foremost, she likes to say she's a mother of 7. And prior to becoming a chiropractor, she was a classical pianist and had a very serious health condition, a very severe autoimmune thyroid condition, and a chiropractor really helped her get through that, totally inspired her. Now she is an amazing chiropractor in Fort Collins, Colorado. Also, she works virtually, and I've been doing a program with her on cleansing and detoxing, which is incredible. She has great wisdom, this woman, and she's taught NIA class since 2001. She's been with LifeWave since September of 2019, loves it for herself and her patients. So I want to bring on Dr. Barbara. There she is. Hi.
Good evening.
Good evening. Great to see you as always.
You too. Thank you.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, we always like to get started because we have a lot of guests on the line and they don't know you and they don't know us very well. So if you could just start out, Dr. Barbara, and share a little bit about what it is about LifeWave that actually interested you to get involved as a doctor.
What interested me as a doctor was the experience I had as an individual. And when my friend Michelle told me about these patches, I think she was definitely thinking that I would be interested as a chiropractor to use in my practice, but of course I would want to try it out first. And so I got enough of these stem cell activation patches for both my husband and I to try. And I noticed a difference in 5 days. So in 5 days, I had noticeably better sleep, noticeably more energy, and that intangible sense of well-being. I just had a better sense of well-being. You know, stresses don't change, challenges don't change, but your ability to handle them changes, right? You feel like, oh, that's not gonna affect me so much. So after that, I had a couple patients that know and trust me well enough that I can, have them try something out to be the first one. And it was a very, very short number of days before I heard back from them that, noticeably less pain, more energy, another person less pain. So that's really what got my attention. And I went from trying it on 1 or 2 patients to many.
I love it. It works.
It does work. I wouldn't have used it in my practice if I hadn't felt something and noticed something myself. So I think I'm lucky in that I did notice a difference in 5 days because not everyone does. But for me, it was pretty quick.
Yeah, for me, it was 7 days. Some people it's minutes, some people it's weeks or months. So
right.
We've been talking about stem cells and activating them. Would you briefly explain why it's so valuable for people to have increased amount of healthier young stem cells in their body?
Yes, it's because your body has the ability to repair any kind of damage or old aging cells faster. Whether it's from an injury or trauma, where there's a lot of healing that needs to happen, or even just a normal healthy person who is using their body. Sometimes I'll explain to people that living in your body and using your body every day means that it's going to it's being used, it's being worked. There's going to be wear and tear. So it's very much like a car, right? You don't drive a car and never do anything to it. You get the oil changed, you put gas in, you take care of it, you clean it, you take care of your car, and you take care of your body. So having more stem cells gives your body just the more ability to heal itself and heal itself faster.
I love it. And that sense of well-being you talked about, it is, it is a subjective, but boy, is it real. And it's fun.
It is. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. And it's noticeable.
Extremely. I mean, I had dramatic results. And I'm going to be 68 in a few weeks, and 2 weeks, I think, from today, actually. And I just get younger and younger and stronger and better, and I love it. So stem cells and this wonderful patch. Who is this product for, and who isn't it for?
The product is for just about everybody. Really just about everyone, because as long as you're alive and living in your body and using your body, there's going to be cell turnover, there's going to be some traumas, there's going to be wear and tear, and every cell has a lifespan where it it's replicated, it is created, it does its job, and then it starts to get old and tired, and it needs to be replaced. So as we age, we make fewer and fewer stem cells, right? And you're getting there, Robin, closer to 70, you're not there, but over age 70, it's understood that people pretty much don't make stem cells anymore, or very, very few. And I think it was actually quite a surprise to David Schmidt, the inventor, that these work for people into their 90s. So using light frequency and the stimulation of this light into our skin can stimulate that stem cell production again, even if you've stopped making them for the last 10 years. So I gave them to my dad, who's 86, and he probably hadn't had any new stem cells for a long time. So they're not for, there's really only two, well, maybe three circumstances where it's not recommended. So because stem cells can enhance your immune system, it is not recommended for people who've had an organ transplant and are on immunosuppressive drugs.
Okay.
And it's not recommended to use for a person who is undergoing active chemotherapy. You can use it before and after, but during, it will actually act as an antioxidant and make that chemotherapy treatment less effective.
Okay.
And then the third is really a personal choice, because it hasn't been tested on pregnant women. We can't say that they should use it. But stem cells are rampant during pregnancy, and so that's a personal choice that people can make on their own.
That's true. And no company tests products on pregnant women. And
Right. Not in America. Yeah.
Right. And so if you call the company, they'll say no. But if you talk to pregnant women, they'll say, why not? Nothing's going in my body. So it is,
Right.
like you said, a personal choice. Okay.
Yeah.
So we have this amazing, safe, natural, affordable, effective product.
Mhm.
And we talked a little bit about, how long it takes for people to experience things. Are there any negative side effects that happen from using this? Because we know it could take time. And how long do you recommend people try it before they say, this is for me or this isn't for me?
Yeah, I recommend an absolute minimum of 90 days, 3 months. As I've been using this in my practice now for more than 2.5 years, what I'm seeing is that, even people who do notice a benefit early on in the first week or two or month, and then the benefits continue to resolve a bad shoulder, for instance, like, wow, the pain's really down, it's really gone. This happened to my husband, for instance, had a bad shoulder injury a year ago, and he went from doing like 85 push-ups every morning to being able to do 0. It was some kind of shoulder cuff injury, and he couldn't even hold a plank position. He couldn't curl, he couldn't lift, it was an injury. And the orthopedic doctor told him that there was nothing they could do because he had so much arthritis. That shoulder had been dislocated like 13 times. And basically just live with it as long as he could, because the next step would be a shoulder replacement surgery. And, he was 54 at the time. He's like, no shoulder replacement surgery yet. So I said, well, let's see what these patches can do. And I told him, I don't know. I know it will help, but I don't know how much it's going to help. And I'll tell you, in less than 3 months, he went from not being able to even hold a plank position to doing 85 push-ups again.
Oh my gosh.
Less than 3 months.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You said
And
not even a plank position. That's a tough one. So
yeah. I mean, he had absolutely no strength in that position. So
wow.
less than 3 months, he's back to doing push-ups. But what I've learned the value of even more time. Ever since I met him, he only slept on his right side because I thought it was just his preference. But in November, he said, "Oh my gosh, Barbara, I'm sleeping on my left side." I'm like, okay. It's like, "No, you don't understand. My shoulder doesn't hurt. So I can sleep on my left side." So after like 2 decades of only sleeping on his right side, he can now sleep on his left side. And that's after 10 months of using the patches.
So what's so wonderful, that's such a beautiful story because things get better and better and better over time. It is
Right.
cumulative, and that's very exciting for many of us to have things. Whoa. So we do recommend people use the health tracker and get a baseline before you start and then track the next day, because many people notice something in 24 hours, not everyone, but then once a week and then once a month for the next few months, because it's quite extraordinary. The little things that just get better and better and better, like this finger, it's straightened out. It's like,
Exactly.
it's just fun.
Yeah.
So what
It's really important. I think it's really important to use that health tracker, especially at the beginning, right? Before you put the patch on, fill it out and rank, give a number rating to some of those symptoms, because it's so valuable to do that, because people, when you start to feel more normal, it's not noticeable. Unless it's a dramatic change, like, wow, that pain just went away. But if it creeps away, it's not noticeable. And people just won't realize how much progress they've made, how that patch has been helping them over the weeks or a couple of months, unless they track it with that form.
Yeah. It's very exciting because it does get better and better. And there's one of the more recent studies is on cognitive function and people that are, baby boomers and beyond. That's a concern. And to realize that cognitive function can just get better and better and better with using the patch. So let's move into what are the ideal conditions to get the best benefit from utilizing this patch and this technology.
Well, ideal conditions are, to set yourself up for success. It's best if you have less inflammation, right? So, and this is going to be across the board with almost any health issue, right? Eat a good diet. Don't eat a bunch of sugar. Don't eat, overeat lots of grains. Don't eat a lot of preservatives and chemicals. All of those things drive inflammation. And drink enough water. So it's very important to be well hydrated. It doesn't mean the patches won't work at all if you're not well hydrated, but they definitely work better and best optimally if you are well hydrated. So drink your water and make sure you have good electrolytes and minerals in your diet or in a supplement that can allow your body to absorb water. And then you need copper in your body, because the first thing that the patch does is cause your body to make more copper peptide. And so copper in your diet, whether you're getting it from foods or from a supplement, you need copper to be able to make the copper peptide, because after that is increased, then it triggers the stem cell production.
How exciting. And we do recommend everyone do your own research on this copper peptide. I did put it in the chat, but I'll write it again. Whether go to your favorite search engine and research GHK-CU, or if you're a practitioner that likes to use PubMed, go to pubmed.gov, and I'll put that in the chat. Okay, so now we know what the conditions are, and it's really for most everybody. Nothing's going in the body. And what if someone has a less than pleasant experience when they start using it? What do you say to them?
I tell them, good, it's working. because the the things a person feels there's a big range. You can feel noticeably better in a very short time or in a long time. You could feel like almost nothing, right? You could feel like this isn't doing anything for me. Or it might actually, you might have a worsening of some injury or pain or stiffness. So it's possible that that either a lingering or old injury could be exacerbated and could feel worse for a short period of time. And what's happening is that your body has more stem cells all of a sudden. And so it's going to put them to work. And that involves getting rid of the old cells. But old cells don't magically disappear. They have to move, right? They're still a physical object. So as they're sloughed off, they're in a joint space. And, you know, it's particularly noticeable in a joint space. If it's a bad knee, if it's an injured hip, a shoulder, or even your hands. So those old cells have to be worked out, right? Your lymphatic system has to pick them up. Your immune system is going to come and gobble up some. And your body has a process of dealing with these things, but it takes a little bit of time. And that's actually a sign that good things are happening.
Okay.
So the last thing someone could feel is more tired. And I'm feeling like about 20% of people tell me that they feel more tired when they start using it. But similarly, what I believe is happening is that your body is diverting energy inward towards the healing process because it suddenly has all of these new tools, new stem cells it can use to heal and repair things.
Wonderful. And sometimes our body just needs rest, and we've been pushing it.
Right. Yeah. Well, there's a reason you get really tired when you have the flu. It's not like, you know, your energy just went away. No, it's actually being redirected. It's being moved away from your movement inward and powering up your immune system.
Love it. Feeling is healing. Thank you, Dr.
Yes.
Nicholas, and thank you, Dr. Barbara. So it's a good thing when you're feeling something, even if it's unpleasant, because it's temporary and it's going to pass. Just like Dr. Barbara says, it sloughs off and gets out of the system, and then you're better than ever. Are you ready for some questions?
Sure.
If you have stories or questions, please put them in the Q&A because that's where I'm going to read from. And we have a whole bunch. So let's see how many we can get through in the next several minutes here.
All right.
Petra's asking, what would you recommend for someone who has poorly working adrenal glands?
Several things. There's probably several layers to that situation. When we're talking about using the Lifewave patches, you would definitely want to use the X39, the stem cell activation patch. Give your body stem cells if it needs to, if there's some repairing and repair work to do in the adrenal glands. But with stress, you always want to think of the EON patch, AEON, EON patch. That patch helps your nervous system and your immune system both adapt to stress. And because under stress, well, first of all, know that your adrenal glands are your backup generator. So when there's stress, the adrenal glands kick in more. And if there's chronic stress, then they're not intended to always be on and always be working. So they can get tired. So there's nutritional things, right? Minerals are super important. Get some good vitamins, whole foods, eat lots of colors of fruits and vegetables. And I would use the EON patch, the X39, and possibly also the energy enhancer patches,
Great. Thank
either
you.
on the shoulders or on the bottom of the feet, like Dr. Walt talks about.
He does. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Richard, I think we answered your question. So I'm going to go to Jennifer. One of our brand new distributors tried a set of Icewave patches on a friend with pain, which immediately disappeared. They were excited. And the hour and a half of being with her friend, she knows she was actually getting really flushed in her face and hot to the touch. They took the patches off. Since no one in the group has had this side effect, we're curious what this might be. Good question.
Yeah, I'm curious too. I have not seen that happen. Where my mind goes is thinking, we know the Icewave patch is very similar to the energy enhancer patches, right? They're a tweak of the energy enhancer patches. And the energy enhancer patches move energy. So if she's had pain, and then she gets flushed, I would think it's making things move, making things happen. I'm curious, did the flush go away when they were taken off? Was it definitely related to the patches? Maybe it wasn't. But it moves energy. They definitely move energy. The Icewave patches, I think of them as a positive and negative magnet. And they're pulling energy out of the area of pain and getting it to move. So when there's pain, there's a lot of stagnation. And it's possible that it could just be a big release and flow.
Yeah, there was some stuck energy and now it's moving. So that that makes total sense. Yeah,
I also don't know where the pain was, where the patches were placed. So
okay,
that's
all right.
Wonder.
And just a reminder to people that we don't mention disease states, so I skip over those questions. Vivian's asking, how will X39 help people who are having difficulty getting pregnant?
How would X39? Well, that's a complicated question. There are a lot of reasons why a person could have difficulty getting pregnant. There are several different problems there. There could be, without naming disease, that it's hard to say. But I would definitely get checked out by an OBGYN and see if there are some structural, physical issues. Where X39 can help is that it does have a positive impact on the endocrine system. Well, the women I know who've had infertility issues, there's a great amount of stress also. So I would also recommend using the Eon patch, possibly the glutathione patch, SP6 patch, and there's just so many wide-ranging benefits of X39. And I would encourage you actually to look in the science section at the studies that were done and find some of the articles on X39, and you can see some of the impact that it does have, the benefits to the endocrine system.
Great. And I do want to mention to people that Dr. Barbara does consults, because a lot of times she needs a lot more information before she can give an answer to some of these questions, because there's a lot more involved. And so if you would put your phone number in the chat for everyone, or how they should best reach you, an email or whatever, that would be great.
Sure.
So Glenn is asking, if you have a young male child that has little patience and short focus and easily distracted, what would you recommend with the patches?
I want to see that. Is it in the Q&A?
In the Q&A.
Okay.
I'm trying to keep it simple here.
Yeah. All right. Who is that question from? Oh, okay, from Glenn. Okay, a young male child, little patience and short focus, easily distracted. What would I recommend? I would recommend X39. I would recommend Eon for sure. I would start with those.
Okay.
I would also recommend you try the head protocol.
Okay. Great.
Yes, also known as the brain protocol or the hat protocol. But I've had good results with that. You know, if he's able to wear a hat at school, I would send him to school with a hat on. If not, then have him wear it when he's home. Because even it's going to have a more it's not only going to have a benefit while it's on your head, right? So if he can wear it at home or sleep with it or something, it will still have a hopefully help him during school.
And for those of you that don't know about that, you can look in our training website, LiveYoungerSuccess.com, and under the library, I think in the patching protocols, it synchronizes brain frequencies. So when there's imbalances in the brain and it gets synchronized, we've heard amazing stories with young boys just like that, getting very calm and focused, wearing a hat. And that's exciting. So Patty said, is it normal to have pain when removing the patches? X39 and 49 and IceWave all together, and when removed after 12 hours, there was pain.
I want to know what kind of pain. Pain like on your skin where the patches were placed or somewhere else in the body? I don't know how to answer that without knowing that.
Right. More information needed. Okay. Are the patches safe for teenagers? Shannon. Shanman. I want to get that right. Yes.
Shanman James.
Yes.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Great. And is there a copper supplement that, or what's the dosage you recommend on a copper supplement and what kind?
So I found one that I like. This is a common question. I'm going to type it in the chat. It's called the Complete Multi, DFH. It stands for Designs for Health. That's the company that makes it. DFH Complete Multi with copper. I like this one because it's got 2 milligrams of copper, which is more than you usually find. And it's a good, safe form of copper. It has copper bisglycinate. So copper bisglycinate chelate. So it's bound to an organic molecule, which is very important when you're taking copper. Plus it's part of a multi. So you want to balance your intake of zinc and copper. That too much of one can cause a problem with absorbing the other. So getting it in a complete multi is going to give you some of each. And let's see, it's found at designsforhealth.com. Let's see.
Is there something people can buy direct from Amazon or their health food store? If you can say how much and what kind of copper?
So you want to look for some kind of copper that's not alone. Don't buy something that just says copper, because it may be elemental copper where it's all by itself. It's not bound to any other molecule. And that is, that can be dangerous because if it can cross the blood-brain barrier, get stuck in the brain and cause inflammation. And it is linked to degenerative brain diseases. I think I can say those because those are known, Parkinson's, dementia, Alzheimer's, things you don't want. So be sure that it's in a organic molecule. Copper bisglycinate is good. Some kind of, if it says copper chelate or copper as chelate, those should all be good forms. And, how much you need really depends on your diet and if you're eating foods that contain copper. So, up to 2.5 milligrams a day is good.
Great. Okay. Could you have time for just a quick few more?
Sure.
Okay, great. Let's see. Is there something you'd recommend for allergies? Mary's asking.
Oh, what kind of allergies? Environmental, food allergies?
And Mary, why
That's
don't
what
you
that's
write
done.
in the chat what kind of allergies? We'll get back to that. Does this help with the growth hormone? And what's the difference between this and HGH?
Oh, they're very different. So the difference is they're completely different. HGH, human growth hormone, is it's a hormone your body makes in your brain, and this X39 stimulates your body to make a copper peptide, and the peptide alone has many, many benefits. I love all of the benefits of the copper peptide. I would still use the patch if that's all it did. It's a great antioxidant. It increases your body's production of collagen, right? It's definitely part of what makes us look younger the longer you use these patches. And a peptide is similar to a protein, but it's shorter, right? It's just shorter, like a mini protein. Then when we have more copper peptide, it triggers stem cell production, and neither of these are hormones, right? These are not hormones, are not part of the endocrine system. They can help the endocrine system because they're, especially the stem cells used to create ovaries and your brain and your adrenal glands, et cetera.
Okay.
But we're not making or taking hormones with this patch.
Okay. So back to the allergies. It's animal dander, mold, and mildew.
Okay, environmental things. Okay, so allergies usually happen when your immune system, if you think of your body as a bucket, right? Ideally, you're born with an empty bucket, and insults to your immune system are, start to fill your bucket a drop at a time. And the more things you have in your bucket, can be a combination of toxicity that you're exposed to, toxins, including dander, right? That's a toxin to us, because a toxin to humans is really something that's in your body that doesn't belong there, right? Doesn't belong. I shouldn't have cat dander in my nose, okay? Doesn't belong. But how much does it bother me can largely depend on how full my bucket is. And if I have a lot that maybe I'm eating foods that I am sensitive to that stress my body, all of those things fill your bucket. And at some point, the bucket starts to tip over. And those are allergy expressions. So to reduce allergies, you want to reduce inflammation, right? If you can avoid the allergens, great. If you can't, reduce inflammation, the whole toxic burden in your body overall. If you have infections, maybe you need to do some homework and find out if you do, or kill them off. Doing a detox is a fantastic way to do this. I often see an improvement in people's allergies, or they completely go away. So reduce inflammation, and using these patches, I would use glutathione and Eon and X39. So glutathione, yeah.
Those are the basics for everything, aren't they?
Well, I love the combination of glutathione and Eon because they reduce inflammation in two different ways, right? They're not redundant. And glutathione is this master, all-important antioxidant. And so an antioxidant is a scavenger for free radicals. And free radicals are produced by inflammation, and they feed the inflammation cycle. So it'll just keep going. So if you can scavenge them out, quench those, and it can reduce inflammation that way. And then the Eon patch is more of an adaptogenic, and it can calm an overactive immune response, which is what you get with allergies.
Wow. I just learned something new. I always do from you. Thank you. Well, I'm looking at the time and you've stayed on extra long, and we really, really, really appreciate you, Dr. Barbara, sharing this evening. And thank you all for joining us. And thank you for your great questions. And next time, some of you, please, please, please remember symptoms only, and then we'll respond better to your questions if you do that. Have a wonderful evening. And if you're new and you just are a guest on this call, please get back to the person that invited you and get started. There's no risk to start. There's a 30-day risk-free guarantee. And if you're not happy, you get your money back. But we do say give it, 90 days before you really make a decision. So you decide, but we get to see lives changed every day. And if you're getting this for yourself, we have a wonderful customer program. If you're the kind of person that likes to share, there's a very generous compensation program for that too. So I want to thank everyone for taking the time this evening and this morning for you, Gregory. Thank you for being with us. Really appreciate that. It's fun having him on the other side of the world. You want to come back in and say hello, goodbye, honey?
There he is.
Ah, and there we go. There's Kai.
There's Kai.
Yep. The reason we're all here, it's all your fault. And William, he's our leader. He's the reason they're in Thailand. So thanks guys for being here this evening or this morning over there in your morning coffee, and have a great day, everybody, and great evening. And thanks again. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.